You want me to say something?
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
So, good morning.
Hello, hi, good morning.
Hi, how are you feeling at Oxfam? What are you looking forward to the event tonight?
It's a nice bright sunny day with a cool breeze. So that's exactly what I expect from here. It's my first time here, and I heard a lot of things about this, and I just want to have a fulfilling conversations with people. I'm really looking forward to meeting people and having interesting conversations with them and being part of this festive atmosphere.
What do you think about the unstereotyped cinema that is just the tag that is given to Oxfam and Marvel?
I think it's very important for people to take that initiative to break stereotypes because there's trendsetters are really important in the creative fields because somebody sets a trend and then people follow it, and sometimes they even better that trend, and sometimes they just squeeze the life out of it. But in life you need trendsetters, and I'm really glad that this initiative is being taken here, and it's sort of applauding and supporting trendsetters.
How do you feel? Your movie was the opening movie of Mami. How was it? What was the experience there?
I feel like a superstar right now. For 15 minutes at least, and then I'll be back on the ground. Please let me fly for 15 minutes.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, sure. No, I was asking that you stand in categories of this.
Oh, sure.
BBC?
Just about Oxfam, maybe? Just
Sure.
we have some questions. We can, yeah. Yeah, we'll have a, yes, sure. We are. Kiran ma'am.
So,
No, it's just demand. Tough feeling is just so busy. Sort of
yes,
with
yeah.
everything we're supposed to be doing.
No, no, आप भी आइए ना. अरे,
अच्छा ठीक है, बढ़िया है.
हाँ. Sorry, Oxfam का कोई पूछने वाला है ना? हाँ. This is the Oxfam, no?
Kiran will be asking about Oxfam.
Yeah. Hi.
So, Oxfam Women in Film Brunch, 3rd edition, what are your thoughts about it?
Well, I think we're all, both of us, very happy that Mami's been able to collaborate with Oxfam now for 3 years. It's one of the things that we look forward to, because we have a room full of people who make interesting and really progressive content, and women are at the focus of it. So for us, it's a particularly proud moment.
So, what do you think is the importance of recognizing films that break gender stereotypes and challenge media?
Well, I just hope that recognizing these films and giving them an award will encourage other people and also sort of sensitize audiences to, like, okay, wow, this film, it did it differently, and maybe we don't always see that. We're bombarded by so many images. So when you single out a film for having done this specific thing nicely, I think it just helps to change the conversation.
Amrit, so my question is to you. How do you feel about hosting Oxfam for the 3rd time this year? And how do you feel about getting all the mindsets together? Like both of you all being
Yeah.
part of it, yeah?
So we are absolutely delighted and privileged to be collaborating with Mami. And I do think that the gender justice movement globally and in India is reaching a tipping point. And in that tipping point, I think Bollywood can play a very critical role. It's really about setting the narrative, and I think this brunch is all about talking about that narrative. So we're delighted to be here and partnering with all of you.
So, one last question. In the ideal world of women in cinema, what are some of the stereotypes that you would like to break away from?
There are too many. How long do we have? The suffering mother, the suffering wife, I just think I'd like to see women who are complicated and maybe women who are messy. They don't have to be a certain way. They don't necessarily also have to have the burden of being good. I think the onus of morality does not have to be on female characters always, I think those are some of the sort of more layered narratives I would like to see around women.
Would I like to add anything? I second everything she says. I mean, we all want to see more sort of well-bodied, flesh and blood women in films, and of course, as Anu said, we don't necessarily need them to all be good and all give the right messages, but we essentially need them to be interesting, complicated, layered characters and be written with as much agency and as much interest as we write male characters. That's
One last question. Last time there were 4 films that were nominated. This time we have 8 films. Double awards. What do you think about that?
So that's exciting. It just shows that you have more films which are reflecting the ethos of gender justice, and I hope next time it's 16 and it just goes on.
Yeah.
And it's really, I think it's a reflection of the times, where very quickly you're seeing many more people becoming sensitive. And I would very strongly third what's been already said. It is also about, I think, breaking the stereotype and creating counter narratives.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so welcome to the Oxfam Mami.
Thank you.
The theme for this year's brunch is women in film. What are your thoughts?
My thoughts, I think we're going to celebrate some amazing women in real life, and I am very happy to be a part of this entire thing. My film premieres at Mami this year, so all the more happy. One more reason for me to celebrate.
The theme for this year's Oxfam Award for Best Film for Gender Equality and Unstereotyped Cinema is the theme for Oxfam Award for Best Film for Gender Equality. What are your thoughts on that?
I'm sorry, I can't.
Unstereotyped cinema. Unstereotyped cinema.
I love the way cinema in general in India is the way it's evolving. There are a lot of experiments, a lot of amazing stories that are being told. And yes, my thoughts are very positive. I think we are heading in a very interesting direction, and I am very happy to be a part of unstereotyped cinema myself as well.
One last question for you. The ideal world for women in cinema, what are some of the stereotypes that you would like to break away from?
Well, as an actress, I wouldn't want to do only leading lady parts. I am hungry for out of the box. Something different, and I think that's being valued, and I like that space. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
This year, the theme for the Oxfam Award has been given out is called Unstereotyped Cinema. Unstereotyped Cinema, you've been very vocal about it. So what are your thoughts this year?
I think I've been doing unstereotyped cinema for a long time now, and I think our audiences are changing, which is a very positive thing, and the so-called unstereotyped cinema is gaining more popularity, and I think we are having films with all kinds of subjects, different kind of storytelling. People are traveling, mixing things, and I have just finished filming my directorial debut, and I made the film in English, Hindi and Italian, and I shot it in Rome. So I think 10 years back, it would have been unimaginable for me to even think about a film like this. So I think unstereotyping filmmaking is really, really gaining the momentum, and I love platforms like this. I love supports like this, and we have to continue this voice, because cinema is really a very important tool of popular culture, and we can change a lot of the thinking in youngsters through pop culture.
So, theme for the brunch is women in film.
Yes.
So, and we have so many wonderful women who are part of cinema at such a long time. What are your thoughts?
I think the day we stop thinking, okay, men and women in filming is where we will say that yes, I would have really serious thoughts on it. We still have to underline the fact that women in film, and I think there would be a day where we will not think gender at all. It will just be films and filmmakers, and I'm still looking forward to that day. Thanks. Sorry. I want to take this, no? Yeah, hi. Thank you.
The third edition this year. And the topic and the theme for this particular year is unstereotyped cinema. And you've been quite into about it. So what are your thoughts this year on the Oscar Award for unstereotyped?
Sorry.
Unstereotyping cinema is the theme for this year's
Right.
award. So what are your thoughts?
I mean, there's no thoughts. It's time to unstereotyping cinema. It's nice to have a slightly more eclectic bunch of films, and I mean, I don't need to say it, but I've always fought against stereotype, at least in my case, and even with whatever minimal body of work I've done. You know, you tend to get stereotyped, you know, in some way or the other. And the point is to be able to break that. The point is to be able to look at new stories, look at people differently, look at the world differently. And as it's getting smaller, at least festivals bring you a point of view, a culture from various parts of the world. And it's exciting.
My next question is, in the ideal world for women in cinema, what are some of the stereotypes that you would like to break away from?
What are stereotypes?
That you would like to break away from?
You know, I think that there's a fear that women's stories don't sell. I think that's the biggest stereotype in at least our industry, and I think that's world over. And I think that's the biggest break, because once you break away from that and you realize that women make half the planet and half the audience, and we need to tell their stories as well, I think that in itself will start changing the narrative. Yeah.
So this time for the Oscar Best Film Gender Equality Award, we've got 9 films that were nominated last year. It was 8 films last year, it was just 4.
Yeah.
So what do you think this change has brought into we've got double of films this time?
I mean, I just think there are more filmmakers. I think there are more filmmakers. I mean, firstly, there are more women making films, whether it's producing or directing. There are more screens, more platforms, so various kinds of content is required suddenly. So there are diverse views and diverse people making films. So that is going to definitely grow in various genres. It's going to grow. Thank you.
So, okay. So, Viviana, so happy to have you here. This is the third edition of the Oscar MAMI brunch. And the first question, the theme of the brunch is women in film. And what are your thoughts about women in film as of 2012?
In the present situation, I think if you're talking in front of the camera, it's really beautiful. If you're talking off camera, I think we're getting there. There was a need for a platform for women to talk together, to support each other, and I think there was nobody to really hear those voices. It's finally come on its own, and it feels really heartening that women can finally talk. So I would say in front of camera and behind it, the scenario for women is looking very promising.
This year's theme is unstereotyped cinema. And what kind of stereotypes would you like to break, or have you broken in this period of time?
I think in my career, I've always broken stereotypes. In fact, I don't like being given an image ever. And I think what, as an audience, we are doing is breaking real stereotypes. If you watch films that have just come by, if you see a Badhai Ho or something like that, you're lauding Surekha Sikri, you're lauding Nina Gupta, the elder couple, as much as, or even more than the lead. And that is so heartening that you probably wouldn't have thought in the cinema happening. So I think it's great, it's story oriented, and we are celebrating women. Of course होता है, हम आंखें बंद करके ऐसा खुश नहीं हो सकते, लेकिन उस पर काम हो रहा है और बहुत अच्छे से हो रहा है। जी शुक्रिया। जी जी मुझे लगता है हमें इंडस्ट्री तक सीमित नहीं कर देना चाहिए। जहाँ पर भी काम होगा, महिलाएं काम पे जाएंगी, अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ होंगी, वहाँ पावर प्ले होगा और हरासमेंट होगी। वो चाहे औरतों के लिए हो और मर्दों के लिए भी हो सकती है। तो वो जो स्ट्रॉन्ग पोजीशन में है शायद वो अपनी बात ज़्यादा रखते हैं। सो मुझे लगता है कि अब एक हेल्दी एटमॉस्फेयर बनाने की ज़रूरत है जहाँ पर लोग बिंदास अपना बेबाक होकर काम कर सकें और जहाँ घबराहटें डर वगैरह ना हो। मेरी सिर्फ इतनी इल्तिजा है सबसे कि जो मूवमेंट सब इतना मिलकर कर रहे हैं उसे डाइल्यूट ना होने दें, अनोनिमिटी से हटकर सामने आए, अपने नाम लेकर आए और कहें कि हाँ हमारे साथ ऐसा हुआ। क्योंकि वो पर्दे के पीछे में कई बार कुछ लोग जो नहीं इनोसेंट भी होंगे शायद उनके नाम भी आ जाएं, विच आई थिंक वी शुड बी रिस्पॉन्सिबल इनफ। इस मूवमेंट को बहुत आगे लेकर जाना है, तो इसे किसी भी तरह से डाइल्यूट नहीं होना चाहिए। शुक्रिया, थैंक्स।
Hey, did you get your picture?
Hello, how are you?
How are you? Nice meeting you.
Good to see you. Yeah, so good to see you.
You just do some bites?
Yeah.
So welcome to the Oxfam Mami pilot edition of the brunch that is women in cinema. Let's go with the theme women in cinema. Amongst them you made some videos with Sarabji, Mary Home. What would you like to say about it?
Basically, I don't know, I started my career with, yes, women-oriented films, and I believe in them, and I have a strong person next to me over here who inspires me throughout, and it's a nice thing that this is the third year and Mami is doing something which is, women-centric films and women in film industry. I back them completely, and I don't know, somehow I'm drawn towards it, and I try making movies only on women. I don't know how.
In your process of filmmaking, how have you broken stereotypes?
Yeah, the first film is a breaking of stereotypes in the sense I didn't want to do a movie that will blend in on the shelf. I wanted it to stand out, and that's why a biopic at that time who people didn't venture in a female-oriented movie which people didn't venture in was my first step, and basically that was breaking the stereotype of movies that we generally see, and that's how I created a niche for myself.
Yeah.
What do you think about this unstereotyping cinema? What are your industry choices tonight? How have you created? How are you broken stereotypes in your career?
I think I've always thought out of the box. So if you see my work, I'm a production designer in the film industry, and I've never stuck with the norm and always wanted to fly a bit higher, but we are always constricted in our thoughts and all, and I'm trying to break those norms. I'm still trying to break those norms, but through my creativity I think I've achieved quite a lot. I've done production design for the most fabulous films, from Black to Savaria to Maricom to Sarabji. So these are all challenges, and challenges excite me, and I'm always breaking the norms, I think, in my own way. Yeah.
One last question. So this time we have, every year we have an Oxfam Award for Best Film on Gender Equality. Last year there were 4 films, so this time we have 8. And they're all about stories where there's
Sorry, the last one.
thoughts on that. The last year was 4 films, this time we have 8 films having part of the year. So what are your thoughts?
I would love to be one of them, though I'm not here. But it's fantastic that we're growing in numbers, and there are excellent movies which are getting selected. And yes, they are nominated for Oscars also. And that is what excites me. And it's not how big or small movie that you make; it's a story that you're telling and how different you're telling.
Thank you. Thank you.